veterans, we all know what fully developed claims are, but do you know when an FDC claim, fully developed claim, can be excluded by the VA? In today's video, not only am I going to share with you what a fully developed claim is, I'm also going to share how it can be excluded. And trust me, you don't want to be that veteran, so make sure you stick around. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Before we get into today's video, make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. Today's video, fully developed claims, how can they be excluded? But before we get into today's video, a word from one of our sponsors.
At Access Med, we guide our veterans towards the benefits they deserve. We specialize in streamlined and efficient medical legal services, including expert case management and impactful Nexus Letters that can significantly enhance your benefits applications. Dr. Freeman, a veteran himself, brings unmatched experience and a deep personal connection to every evaluation, ensuring your Nexus Letter truly reflects your service and sacrifice. We believe medicine is both an art and a science. Our programs focus on promoting family participation in the Veterans Benefits Package. Trust Access Med to stand by you every step of the way. Visit accessmed.com and secure the benefits you deserve. Access Med, serving those who served.
So, fully developed claims, FDC claims. When can they be excluded? But first, we have to know what is a fully developed claim. So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, I'm showing you, I took this from the instructions section of the VA form 21-526EZ. Now, this form is about, I think it's 12 or 13 pages. And this is part of the instruction section of this particular prescribed VA claim form. When you are completing, and this is a nugget for you, okay? When you are completing any VA form, make sure you read the instructions. The VA has put a lot of information in these instruction sections for you, okay? And it's filled with a lot of good information, okay? So in this particular instruction page for the 526EZ, I'm showing you on the left, FDC Program, and on the right, the standard claim process, okay? Majority of veterans, they elect for the FDC Program. If I was going through this process again, I would elect for the FDC Program as well. So it states you must submit all relevant private treatment records if they exist. Identify any relevant treatment records available at a federal facility such as a VA medical center. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. Here's why. A rater, if you got treatment at any VA medical center, they can see those. They can log into a system called Capri. I think it's still called Capri, but when I rated, it was called Capri. They put your social security number in every VA medical center you went to, those medical progress reports, they will come up. Now, what I would do is go to va.gov, log in, and I would get my own progress notes. For example, if you had a sleep study at the VA, I'm going to go and get it myself. That way, the rater, they don't have to go do it. You've already done it for them. If you have any evidence showing, let's say, how many completely prostrate migraines you have, if that's reported in those progress notes, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to go get those records myself, okay? Identify the location and sufficient information to obtain your National Guard and Reserve personnel and service treatment records, if applicable. I used to be in the Missouri Army National Guard before I went on active duty. I'm getting those records myself. That's going to hold up your claim, people, okay? And then it gives some other information. So you can see, really good information. Standard claim, all right? just real quick, I'm not going to focus on it. You select that box. What you're doing, you're telling the VA, hey, wait a minute. Don't move forward with my claim. For a certain period of time, I'm going to send in some additional information. It really doesn't make sense to me, especially if you did the intent to file, because those records you're telling them you're going to go get, you should have already gotten yourself. Okay, let's keep going. Slide number 2. Here in slide number 2. Now, this is a continuation. This is on the next page, okay? Send the information and evidence along with their claim. Okay? Again, intent to file. One of the things I talked about in my members only membership here on YouTube, step 1, get the records yourself, people. Get the records yourself. The VA is allowing you to do an intent to file, okay? If you ask the VA to get the records, they will do it, but they also tell you, and I did a video on this, they tell you, if we do it, it may prolong your claim, okay? So I'm not going to read all that information on the left there. That's the fully developed on the left and standard process on the right. But just look at standard process. It says you are strongly encouraged to send any information or evidence as soon as you can. All right. So the VA is strongly encouraging you to do something. Take heed to that. Okay. Let's keep going. Slide number 3. All right. Here we go. We're in the meat and potatoes. We're in the thick of it now. Okay. So this is M21-1 special issue indicators for FDC exclusion. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to be this veteran, okay? Now, I'm not going to go through all these. I did highlight some. It says, claimant declines FDC processing. Some veterans do, okay? And that's totally up to you. This is your claim. I'm not saying you should do the standard process or the FDC process. It is totally up to you. If I was going through this process again, like I stated earlier, I would do the FDC processing, okay? Then it says, claimant fails to simultaneously submit any of the additional forms required to process the specific application, okay? So sometimes you're gonna need more than one form. In that case, make sure any additional form that you submit, okay, that, for a particular claim, you submit those additional forms, because if you don't, guess what they're going to do? Oh, you did this, and you should have done this. Fill this letter out and send it to us. You're excluded because now they have to go out and do additional development, okay? Again, this is why it's important to be educated on this process. This is something that you can do yourself, veterans, okay? But if you elect for a VSO, claims agent, or an attorney to do it, make sure they know this. There are some that don't. They are accredited and they don't know this, and they will screw your claim up, meaning they will cause your claim to be extended, prolonged, all right? Just because they're accredited does not mean, oh, they know everything. I don't know everything. Okay, I'm human. I can make mistakes, all right? The next one, the claim requires development for evidence or a character of discharge determination, COD, okay? So we talked about additional development. Now, I know I'm going to get pushback from this, because I know people are going to say, well, I shouldn't have to go out and get this evidence. It's the VA's job. Okay, I agree with that. But don't get mad when it takes an extra 6, 7, 10, 12 months. Okay, don't get mad at the VA. Don't do it, don't do it, okay? Character discharge. If you have an honorable discharge, then you know, okay, you don't need that. Some veterans, DOD has several different discharges, honorable, then you got other than honorable, bad conduct, dishonorable, okay? Some of the worst ones, I can't think of some of them right off the top of my head, but I do know honorable, you don't need a character discharge. If you don't have an honorable, you know which ones you need to character discharge. They're going to make that determination if you are a bar for compensation and healthcare benefits, or if you are just a bar for compensation. Now, when they do that, they say you are barred from compensation, you cannot get service connected. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot get service connected. And they're gonna let you know in this letter. I've talked to veterans and they'll say, well, I didn't even get this, I didn't get that. I'm like, wait a minute, what kind of discharge you have? They fail to mention that. Well, I see why. Well, what did they state in the character discharge letter? Or what? They got the letter, didn't even read it. They still waiting on a rating decision. That's going to never come because the VA has already made VBA has already made that determination. You are a bar from compensation. Now, you can go to your branch of service and get that discharge upgraded. And when you do, you can come back and apply for a service connection. And I've seen veterans win. Actually, guess what, people? I have a video where I'm talking about military discharges and how you can get yours upgraded by going to the VA's website, logging in, and filling out the paperwork. Simple, okay? Let's keep going. The claimant or POA submits additional evidence. Once you check that box, FDC, on the 526EZ, and let's say 2 or 3 months later, you submit a DBQ and Nexus statement, you are excluded. Now, I've seen this. And whenever those cases landed on my desk, I say, hey, I get a hold of VSR, mark this RFD, ready for decision. I go ahead and rate it. Because as long as it was actionable and sufficient evidence, I can rate it, okay? So being excluded is not always a bad thing, but it's the reason why you're excluded. This example where the veteran submitted a DBQ and Nexus statement, actually, that pushed the claim to the forefront, okay? But if you submit like a VA form 4142, 4142 alpha, or a letter saying, hey, I forgot to tell you all I had treatment over here, okay? Now you're going the opposite way. Let's keep going, slide number 4. Now, this is just a continuation of the previous reference. I put it at the top. I couldn't fit all of it on one page, okay? The veteran fails to report for a VA examination and asks VA to reschedule before the FDC is decided. Now, I know I'm going to get asked, well, Dwayne, I submitted actionable and sufficient DBQ, and I refused the exam and told them, rate with the evidence of record. You should not be excluded for that, okay? What they're talking about, hey, you were supposed to show up October 2nd. You called and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Maybe good cause, and I got a video on what is good cause, right? Life happens, I get it. They will exclude you from the FDC. Now, could this prolong your claim? Obviously, it will. It shouldn't prolong it a long time because once it gets back to the rater, it could be, a few weeks later, and they may just turn around and reschedule the exam at that time. I've done that, okay? Or I've done it a couple of times, not often. I'll reach out to the veteran, call and say, hey, I'm Dwayne, your claim landed on my desk, and I see that, you requested to reschedule. Would you like for me to go ahead and reschedule this exam now, or go ahead and make a decision on the claim, and then you can reschedule down the road? Because we had to do something with that claim. It couldn't be, I'm going to Thailand on a tour for 6 months, just hold it till I get back. Nope, not doing that, all right? So either you tell me, go ahead and make a decision based on the evidence of record, or go ahead and reschedule the exam at a time. And I reschedule it, and the veteran's like, okay, yep, I'm good to go. Go ahead and reschedule it, all right? So make sure you understand not only what a fully developed claim is, but how you can be excluded. Last slide. Slide number 5. Okay, erroneous exclusions of a claim from the FDC program. I've seen this before. I don't think any VA employee does this intentionally. It happens. They're human. We're all human, okay? We make mistakes. When a claim has been erroneously excluded from the FDC program, VA must remove the FDC exclusion special issue indicator. That's in VBMS, okay? add the fully developed claim special issue indicator back to at least one contention, and continue to process the claim in the FDC program. By the time that happens, more than likely it's already with the rater, okay? The VSR made the determination that this particular FDC claim is RFD, ready for decision, okay? But I've seen that happen before, okay? VA employees, they're looking at a lot of paperwork, they make mistakes, I made some, and veterans got to realize, hey, we as veterans, we make mistakes too, okay? Not the end of the world. So I just explained what a fully developed claim is, some reasons why it can be excluded. Here's a nugget for you people, okay? One, this is your claim. You do what you feel is best for your claim. But this is the nugget. Intent to file. You do the intent to file, and let's say you don't have anything, but you do the intent to file, you got 365 days to submit that prescribed claim form. You got time to start building a paper trail, that continuity of treatment, get your diagnosis, x-rays, MRIs, prescriptions, continue to build that paper trail. And when you get ready to file that claim, submit everything at the same time. Take your time, go through it, look at it once, look at it twice, look at it 3 times if you have to, okay? Because once it's downrange, it's downrange, it's shot out. If you ever in field artillery, you know what I mean when I say shot out, okay? It's gone. And you're not going to submit anything else. That's key, all right? Now, that's not saying that your claim is going to get rated in record time. I've seen veterans submit FDC claims on a Monday. They had an actionable and sufficient DBQ, okay? And received a rating decision on a Thursday. Same veteran comes back, do it again, they get rated in 2 months. I'm not saying that's going to happen with your claim, but hey, you do it the right way, you're giving your claim the best chances of success, all right? With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veteran. Thank you.